Life is a science fiction horror film that stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Rebecca Ferguson, and Ryan Reynolds, and basically focuses on a team of scientists who are aboard the International Space Station. They pick up some sort of life form that starts growing at an increasingly quick rate, kills off some of the crew members, so pretty much it's a fight for survival to try to kill this thing and stay alive. So let me ask you all a question. Have you seen Alien? Have you seen John Carpenter's The Thing? Have you seen the original Thing, The Thing from Another World? Have you seen It, The Terror from Beyond Space? Then you've pretty much seen Life already. When I saw the trailers for this movie, the first thing that popped into my mind was, okay, this is like Alien, or all these other science fiction movies where a group of characters are stuck in an isolated place with a monster, and they have to fight for survival. Not that it's really bad, but it's just a plot and a formula that we've seen done many times before, and we've seen it done a whole lot better in these other movies that I mentioned. But Life does manage to have some really good moments to it. It has some really great cinematography, especially the opening scene, which is pretty much one long shot inside of the International Space Station as we're going through the space station where the characters are in zero G, and we get to just see what they're doing. It's all one long take, which I'm sure there was some editing tricks and CG thrown in there to help, but still, it's a pretty impressive scene. The performances are pretty good, especially from your three leads, even if Ryan Reynolds is pretty much playing Ryan Reynolds, except maybe a toned down version of what he normally does. And the score is actually really good. There's a lot of parts of the score that's really haunting and effective. And this weird creature that they pick up that's terrorizing the entire space station, it starts off as something that we've kind of seen before, nothing too special. But as it goes on, it gets a more creative design and looks pretty cool. So those are all the good things about Life. And honestly, the things that I don't like are usually all the situations the characters find themselves in. A lot of the characters do a few stupid things. They aren't thinking some of these situations all the way through. And especially with Rebecca Ferguson's character, there are some things that she does in this movie, or does not do in the movie, that makes you really dislike her. Even though by some standards she is doing her job, she's not doing it particularly well. There are a lot of elements in this movie where the characters do downright stupid things at points. Now, I do apologize in advance that this review's kind of short, but I really don't have that much else to say about the movie. It's a plot and a scenario that we've seen done several times before, and as I said earlier, done better. But the things that it does really well. I was entertained throughout the movie. It moved at a really good pace. There were points where I was on the edge of my seat. So I would say that this is a good movie, just not a great one, if it wasn't for the ending. I'm not going to say what actually happens in the ending, but they do something that is probably going to have a lot of people split, and I'll elaborate on that a little later after I give my rating. But for me, it was one of those things where it's like, no, that's kind of deceptive and inexcusable. So that kind of pushes my rating down to watch at your own risk. Stuff that this movie does, it does really well. There's no denying that at all. But the ending is the breaking point. Some people might look at the ending and go, you know what, that was kind of bold. While other people will look at the ending and go, you know what, I saw that coming a mile away, and you should be ashamed of yourself, movie, for having that ending in there. So with the ending, I fall into the latter camp. It did kind of ruin the movie for me, and that's why I can't say it's good but not great. But the reason I do say watch at your own risk is one of those situations where you just go out, see the movie, and make your own judgment on whether you like it or not. So I can only speak for myself in this scenario. And that's my review for Life. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below and tell me what your thoughts are on the movie, if and when you've seen it. And as always, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only one.